It was April 18th, 1981, at McCoy Stadium, where popcorn smelled like optimism and the lights purred like friendly UFOs. Pawtucket Red Sox versus Rochester Red Wings, a routine minor league Saturday that should end before curfews and yawns. Families filed in, mascots bounced, the announcer's voice buttered the air with confidence. No one knew the scoreboard had secretly signed a lease with eternity. The first pitch sizzled, the crowd cheered, and destiny politely tucked a banana peel under the night. Baseball had brought jokes. Time brought glue. The mascots launched inflatable hot dogs like space torpedoes of joy, and children chased them in slow-motion heroics. Parents laughed with the brave confidence of people who believe bedtime has rights. Vendors marched like parade floats, balancing soda towers, while a breeze turned peanuts into confetti. Somewhere, the baseball gods leaned over the railing and whispered, "Let's get weird." The dugouts sparkled with innocence. The sky pretended not to smirk. If cartoons have opening themes, this one hummed in mustard. The first few innings behaved like tidy children rehearsing politeness. Pitchers painted corners, batters grounded politely, and outfielders caught fly balls that floated like dandelion wishes. The organs sang supportive lullabies for punctual bedtimes. Scorekeepers yawned into pencils. Pigeons negotiated air rights with passing clouds. Nothing warned that normalcy was about to detonate into looped absurdity. It felt like a brochure for baseball. Dependable, measured, drowsily charming. But beneath the grass, you could hear tiny cartoon springs tightening, tightening, tightening. Comedy coiling for launch. During the seventh inning stretch, the crowd sang courageously off-key. A choir of happy lawnmowers. Mascots danced atop dugouts like inflatable philosophers explaining joy with elbows. The announcer promised, "We'll have a winner tonight," and optimism applauded itself. Vendors balanced popcorn like acrobats, juggling moons. A toddler conducted the anthem with a licorice baton. Even the moon looked punctual. In hindsight, the moment had a sheen of foreshadowed chaos, like a smile that forgot to hide the pie behind its back. Players stayed loose, blowing bubblegum galaxies and pretending bats were microphones. One bubble inflated into a pink planet with its own weather system before collapsing into sticky meteorology. Another player pantomimed juggling 3 invisible victories. Laughter pinged around like pinballs in a friendly arcade. Nobody suspected the arcade was also a maze. Fate sharpened a pencil somewhere above left field, sketching extremely long night in block letters. Meanwhile, the game hummed politely, as if time were a guest you never asked to leave. The 9th ended tied. Fine. Extra innings are baseball's cozy overtime sweater. Then the 10th ended tied, and the 11th shrugged, and the 12th folded its arms like a copy of a copy. The loop began to purr. Batters glanced at the scoreboard like it owed them gas money. The crowd developed that brave, foolish glint that says, "Sure, one more." Reality, polite to a fault, kept refilling the glass. It tasted like déjà vu with peanuts. Somewhere, someone hit rewind on the universe. Cold crept into the bleachers, and blankets sprouted like emergency gardens. Hot chocolate became a religion with marshmallow hymns. Parents tucked sleeping kids into jacket nests, while insomniac fans adopted noble postures of survival. The game transformed into a reality show called Last Fan Awake, where the prize was bragging rights and a very confused tomorrow. Each inning felt like a polite knock from infinity. People smiled the way you do when you realize the exit is decorative. Pawtucket's mascot ran out of choreography and reason at the same time. He sold churros, hosted thumb wrestling tournaments, and attempted a restorative nap inside the popcorn machine, emerging buttered and reborn. "I am snack-scented captain of morale," he declared, saluting with a churro saber. The crowd knighted him with licorice. He saluted again, slightly sticky, perfectly legendary. Hope didn't increase, but the comedy got cardio. In the press box, journalism lost its glasses and walked into a broom closet. Headlines read, "Baseball still occurring, we remain located here," and pillows sought for negotiations. One reporter fell asleep on the keyboard, publishing a groundbreaking essay titled Zzz. Another began sketching bats in pajamas, marching for better bedtimes. The copier, sensing opportunity, unionized. If history needed a caption, it would have been a yawn with ambition. Midnight arrived wearing mischievous glow-stick eyeliner. The lights flickered like anxious eyelids, and players dragged bats as if they weighed 1,000 Mondays. Yet the umpire stood immovable, a solar-powered statue of resolve. Was he mechanical, fueled by stubbornness, sponsored by coffee that learned to walk? His strike calls boomed like opera sung into a lunchbox. If time needed a security guard, it had found one with chest protector and myth. By the 20th inning, probability requested a transfer, and logic called a cab. Baseball turned into a laboratory where the experiment was, how long can humans politely pretend this is normal? Batters swung like negotiators, pleading with a stuck pickle jar. The ball smirked and quoted philosophy. Each strike produced a slide whistle sigh from the crowd. Hope was a boomerang that forgot its address. Even statistics stopped returning texts. On the bench, dreams sprawled out like cats in sunbeams. One player slept using his glove as a harmonica. Another ordered pizza to the dugout. The delivery guy saluted the ump and left a receipt signed Destiny. A third counted sheep wearing helmets. All safe at imaginary home. The bat rack yawned. Someone sketched a ladder to climb out of time. Nobody climbed. The ladder yawned too. The remaining fans evolved into a small country with blanket borders and nacho treaties. Strangers passed snacks like sacred documents, sealing alliances with extra cheese. A campfire made of phone flashlights flickered to motivational speeches. We are the few, the awake, the slightly crunchy. Stories bloomed like fireworks behind tired eyes. Somewhere, a hot dog was knighted, purely ceremonial, beautifully unnecessary. In the radio booth, sanity slipped on a banana peel and did a pirouette. One announcer recited cloud descriptions as if auditioning for weather ballet. Another sniffed a hot dog and delivered notes of oak, stadium, and brave mustard. A third accused the wind of favoritism and presented a corkboard of yarn. Listeners adjusted antennas to hear the nonsense better. Static applauded. Pitchers embraced cartoon physics without legal counsel. A fastball crawled like a turtle, practicing mindfulness. A foul ball pursued enlightenment in the parking lot. A curve bent at 90 degrees, waved at the catcher, and took attendance. Batters spun like tops with diplomas. The catcher placed a tiny traffic cone at home plate, warning pedestrians about reality. Everyone agreed the ball was an abstract painter. By inning 30, mascots submitted resignations written in crayon and spilled soda. One slept on the dugout roof, counting endorsement sheep. Another texted, "I live here now, send socks." The stands resembled a lovely ghost town with snacks. 20 valiant fans waved tiny flags like teaspoons stirring dawn. A tumbleweed reported for left field duty and made the practice squad. Players achieved the ancient art of competitive sleepwalking. A batter tapped a dribbler and saluted the ball as it left. Outfielders escorted grounders like crossing guards on coffee breaks. The shortstop moonwalked by accident and received polite applause from crickets. Helmet flaps squeaked like rubber ducks discussing philosophy. Sportsmanship remained. Urgency packed a suitcase. The scoreboard taunted them with minimalist poetry. 2-2. 30 innings, 4 exhausted runs, and numbers with droopy eyelids. Fans groaned in chord, a trombone choir of disbelief. A moth circled the digits, investigating irony. The clock chewed gum and blew a bubble labeled forever. It refused to pop. People stared like museum visitors, admiring a masterpiece of stubbornness. Concessions turned archaeological. Hot dogs grew respectable beards. Nachos fossilized into crunchy monuments behind velvet ropes. Sodas flattened into puddles of yesterday. The owner paced with a calculator like a worried wizard, considering rent for the infield dirt. Even foul poles bent slightly, applying for semi-retirement. The snack bar rang last rites with a microwave ding. At 4 a.m., the umpires pressed the emergency pause, a big red button shaped like mercy. "Enough," they said, thunder wrapped in slippers. After 32 innings, suspension descended like a blanket fort. Players pancaked gracefully onto the grass. Survivors applauded between yawns. The sunrise peeked over right field wearing a smirk that said, "You'll be back." 2 months later, the sequel nobody needed but everybody attended arrived with fanfare. Cameras buzzed like technobees, reporters polished metaphors. Fans waved signs that read, "Part 2, please end." The stadium hummed with prophecy and popcorn. History stretched its calves, preparing to jog a single meter. Everyone carried snacks and backup snacks, just in case Destiny ordered extras again. And then, blink, Pawtucket scored in the 33rd. The saga folded into a paper airplane and sailed into anticlimax. Fireworks yawned, players celebrated a 10% battery, confetti shrugged politely. After months of myth, the ending lasted a sip of soda. It was perfect, ridiculous, and somehow satisfying, like a punchline whispered by a sleepy clown. Some survivors became legends with names that echo in summer air. Wade Boggs, Cal Ripken Jr. They laughed when asked about the marathon. The nighttime stopped to tie its shoes. Their careers soared, but this memory kept honking from the back seat. Annoying, beloved, unforgettable. It wasn't trauma. It was a cartoon drawn across 2 months. The 33-inning game became a lighthouse of nonsense. Whenever a matchup limps past midnight, someone asks the sacred question. Sure, but is it 33? It's the measuring stick carved from delirium. The bedtime story insomniac scoreboards tell each other. The myth glows brighter than facts, and the facts giggle anyway. Records are numbers, legends are cartoons. And so, the game that wouldn't end still refuses in spirit. Each retelling adds one invisible inning, a bonus laugh, a fresh squeak of cartoon logic. Somewhere a baseball rolls across an endless green, chased by players who've made peace with forever. The lights hum lullabies, the seats remember names, the grass keeps secrets. Play on, whispers the wind, tasting faintly of mustard.